Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. The $90 million reason why the Cowboys will adjust Dak Prescott's contract in 2025. With the 2025 league year approaching, the Dallas Cowboys are facing a financial conundrum regarding quarterback Dak Prescott's contract. While his deal was structured to provide short-term flexibility, the looming $89.896 million cap hit for 2025 is simply unsustainable. The Cowboys are expected to restructure Prescott's deal to free up cap space, a move that has become common practice for the organization. Dallas has long used contract restructures to manipulate the salary cap, and Prescott's deal is no exception. The Cowboys can convert a large portion of his 2025 salary into a signing bonus, reducing his cap hit to approximately $50 to $54 million while freeing up roughly $36 to $40 million in cap space. This strategy allows them to maintain roster flexibility while postponing the financial burden to future years. NFL insider Mike Fisher of CowboysCountry.com believes this adjustment will happen soon, particularly with free agency set to begin on March 12. At whatever point the Cowboys wish to do so, they can flip the switch on Dak's existing deal and gain about $36 to $40 million in cap room, Fisher reported. Given their off-season needs, it's unlikely the Cowboys will wait long to execute this move. The Cowboys have a big decision to make about Dak Prescott. Prescott's contract isn't the only one that could be adjusted. The Cowboys could also restructure wide receiver CeeDee Lamb's deal, potentially freeing up an additional $20 million in cap space. Additionally, if the Cowboys finalize a long-term extension with star defender Micah Parsons, they could create even more financial flexibility, potentially reaching nearly $100 million in available cap room. However, while restructuring deals provides immediate relief, it comes at a cost. By pushing cap hits into future years, the Cowboys will eventually face a financial reckoning, particularly when Prescott's time in Dallas comes to an end. If they continue to delay addressing his long-term future, they risk a massive dead cap hit when he eventually departs. The Cowboys front office, led by owner Jerry Jones and COO Stephen Jones, has historically been conservative when it comes to major financial moves. However, with a cap hit nearing $90 million, standing pat simply isn't an option. If Dallas wants to retain key players and make meaningful additions in free agency, restructuring Prescott's deal is a necessity. With free agency just days away, the Cowboys will need to act fast. Whether they restructure Prescott's deal or negotiate a long-term extension, the decision they make in the coming weeks will shape the team's financial landscape and its championship aspirations for years to come. Cowboys, Micah Parsons begin negotiations. After taking their time on CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott extensions last year, to the point the ultra-rare game day deal came to pass before Week 1, with Prescott, the Cowboys are at least starting the Micah Parsons process. As of last week, the sides were not talking. They are now, per the Dallas Morning News' Calvin Watkins, who describes these as general discussions. They will pertain to a monster extension, as Parsons joins a few edge rushers in the running to alter the position's financial landscape this offseason. Parsons has said he hopes an extension will be in place by training camp, later communicating there is a plan in place between he and the team regarding his second contract. This came after Parsons indicated in December he wanted a deal before free agency. That seems almost certain not to happen, as the Cowboys regularly hammer out their top extensions, save for the first Prescott re-up, which featured a franchise tag deadline, late in the summer. Parsons joins T.J. Watt and Trey Hendrickson in contract years, with Myles Garrett squarely on the extension radar, with the Browns or another team, depending on how his trade saga ends, despite 2 seasons remaining on his deal. Parsons has said he expects to the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback. Other edge rushers will be in the mix for that title, as will Jamar Chase. Trade rumblings have come out on Parsons, who would fetch more than Garrett would due to his age, 26 in May. Jerry Jones did his best to refute those, but a report last month had the Cowboys at least discussing the matter internally. As the Cowboys have Prescott and Lamb tied to top market deals, a third landmark payday would restrict their ability to round out a roster. Dallas deciding to trade the youngest of their top trio would be an interesting move, as Parsons is probably the team's best player. For now, the conversation will center on an extension, rather than a seismic swap. Dallas could pursue Cooper Kupp trade if price drops. Dallas Cowboys COO Stephen Jones talked about being selectively aggressive with the team's off-season moves. Adding a number 2 wide receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb seems like it's near the top of their list, and they could be aggressive by going after a player familiar with the Dallas new wide receivers coach. ESPN says Dallas could be interested in acquiring Cooper Kupp if the price drops. The Cowboys will be in the market for a number 2 receiver behind CeeDee Lamb. They have some hope that Jonathan Mingo, their trade deadline acquisition from Carolina, can evolve into that, but obviously it's too soon to know, and they will be in the market to add at that position. They could end up being a Cooper Kupp suitor if his price drops far enough. The Cowboys covet their draft picks more than most teams, so when they use picks as trade chips, they need the player to work out. However, Kupp would be quite the contingency plan. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer hired Junior Adams from Oregon as the team's new wide receivers coach. Not only will Adams be bringing in influence from the college game, but there's hope that if a trade for Kupp is made, he could be the one that tips the scales as to why it happens. Adams and Kupp worked together when the wide receiver was at Eastern Washington University. Kupp credits Adams as his mentor and has worked out with him in the off-season, even though they are no longer in the same building. The Cowboys have hoped Jalen Tolbert would elevate his game to a number 2 wide receiver level. Even though he's coming off a career season with 610 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns, he is also entering the final year of his rookie contract. There's hope he could continue his development like Mingo, but having Kupp in their back pocket would give Dallas a legit wideout to pair with Lamb while players like Tolbert and Mingo keep working on their game. Kupp would also be a great mentor to both players, as he was with Puka Nacua in Los Angeles.